Executive Director of the World Food Program, author Potts Dawson, chef and co-Eco-Restauranteur, and Al Jazeera's Femi Oke.
Hello, delegates. So nice to see you. David Beasley, the Executive Director of the World Food Program.
Where am I going? In the middle.
Arthur Potts Dawson, a chef, a very high-profile chef, and he tells me he's brilliant at chefing. This is a plate and a table of vegetables. I hope you are familiar with vegetables. And this session is called Counting the Beans. What it takes to feed a hungry world. Arthur, do some chefing.
I'm going to chef it up.
All right. 24 hours ago, David, you were in Cuba. And I just had a quick stalk through your Twitter feed, and you were sitting, I thought it was on a beach, but it was rubble. And there were kids perched on the rubble, and they were smiling. But this is just after Irma went through the Caribbean. What did you see? What did you learn?
Well, it was 14 hours ago, actually. And so...
you look good.
Yeah. Well, that's the life of the World Food Program. You
right.
know, we're delivering almost 80 million people. We're feeding every day over 80 countries. In Cuba, which was just ransacked by the Hurricane Irma, of the entire Caribbean. And so yesterday I was at a home which was no longer a home because the house, the floods, the surge of the water was 6 to 7 feet high. Waves that were 30 feet tall, literally like skyscrapers, hitting the entire 600 miles of the coastline where people were devastated. Homes, schools, hospitals, over 120,000 acres of land that are now destroyed and now are saline all across the landscape. It's a desperate situation. But at this home, a man whose father was named Celestina, he lost his home. And what was amazing was the children were just still smiling in spite of everything, but the ocean had brought from the sea stone this high. So the walls are gone, the neighborhood's destroyed, and families are ripped apart, but yet you're seeing the Cuban people rise up. It was quite amazing in spite of the tragedy. So we're there with millions of dollars of food to work with the Cuban people.
Arthur, what are you doing right now?
So I'm building the foundation for our very simple soup. You know, when you say to a chef, well, can you come and show me how to make a soup? You say, sure. You have to build the foundations into the story. So the foundation is onion, garlic, a little bit of olive oil. So, you know, from a chef perspective, as you can see, you know, it's boiling away. You've got a nice hot stove here. But I want to really just deliver the narrative of the recipe. So it would be olive oil. It would be onions, and this is going to be cooked later, so it's not going to go to waste. So onions go in, and I met David for the first time a little bit earlier on, and he said, what have you been doing? And I said, I've been making a soup. He said, you smell like you've been making a soup. You smell like onions.
In a good way.
But any chef smells like onions. So yeah, really what I wanted to do is come in and show the simple building blocks for a dish. Not expensive, just straight up and down, vegetables, green. I mean, this is the stuff that you probably see, I guess, the world over if you're lucky enough to see food on your plate.
Sure.
It's celery, it's onion, it's garlic, it's tomato, a few different types of beans, some carrots. And I suppose really what a chef does is he takes, or she takes, the blocks and turns them into components of flavour.
All right, we're coming right back to you. David, how long have you been in your job?
About 6 months.
All right. Did you have like a 3-month trial period and they're like, it's not working out, David, or it's working out, you can stay, you can go? Did you have that 3-month period and you're like, okay, this job is for me?
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, it was a week before I was to take the job, I got this call saying, hey, we need you to do this. And so a week later, we're literally on the way to Rome, facing the worst humanitarian crisis since World War II. 80 to 109 million people facing hunger, 20 million people in 4 countries facing famine. The U.S. was talking about cutting back this humanitarian aid, so it was like, welcome to the job. But it's amazing the corner we've turned, but in spite of the fact that the U.S. is truly not stepping back, but stepping up, we are facing an incredible crisis worldwide. And when you look at the last 30 years, that hunger has been going down. For all the efforts of the people in this room around the world, hunger has been going down from over 250 million people less hungry until now. And now hunger is going back up because of war. 80% of the places that we are in now are man-made conflicts, whether you're talking about Yemen, South Sudan, Somalia,
Northeast Nigeria.
Syria, Northeast Nigeria, and now look at Bangladesh and Myanmar. The tragedies are just outlandish today. It's an indictment on humanity with the humanitarian conflict that we have today.
While you've been speaking, David was listening to you and chopping like this. I'm not looking at his fingers. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to see blood any moment now. What is this recipe? What is the soup that you're making?
Well, when I was invited only a few days ago by the WFPs, quick, fly to New York, I'm busy. No, quick, come, okay. But I did it to meet David and to get this story across. Look, it's a simple vegetable soup. They said, you know, can you come and tell us a story in a dish? Yeah. And I said, well, what would be the type of meal that someone would cook probably across the planet? I mean, you might take the beans out and put rice in. You might, in maybe Americas, you might put corn in instead. So you get the sort of staples. But really, it's vegetables with beans. So, but building the foundation of the flavour has to come together. You know, we're just talking backstage about putting everything in a pot to get an outcome. You know, what does the World Food Programme have to do to get its ingredients right, to actually deliver the product at the front line? You know, it's so important. So I was thinking about that when I was chopping onions upstairs, but I thought it was quite an interesting analogy.
And this idea of this plate of food, it's almost like an index that the World Food Programme have come up with. A very simple, basic plate of food, and how much it might cost in different parts of the world. Arthur?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, from a chef's perspective, I know that these carrots cost me 3 or 4p, you know, I guess 5 cents or something in the US. And I have to do all my economics behind that. So I say, right, well, the carrots are going to cost me this, and I know the celery cost me that, and I know the olive oil, ooh, that's expensive, that'll be 10p. Right. But so everything that goes into the pot, you know, okay, so the pot cost me a total of $5 to make. But out of that $5, I'll have 5 portions. So we'll end up with, you know, serving portions into bowls. So the chef says, okay, well, I know that that's probably cost me, you know, maybe 40 cents, 50 cents to make, and therefore I have to sell it, well, okay, for a pound. Okay? But so then you think, right,
$1.
$1. Oh, sorry, yeah. Sorry. So you think, well, okay, I put all of this effort, and everything that I put into this pot comes out and goes to this pot here.
Right.
Yeah. And then, of course, you then serve the second bowl, and you say, well, okay, if the price in my restaurant is $1.20, but the price of this food somewhere else on the planet, I mean, that's why I got on the plane, because I said, well, I've got to help to tell this story, because I was just blown away.
The cost of this food?
All right, I'm going to have ready? I'm going to have one bowl, right?
All right, wait. So this is the $1.20 here.
All right, $1.20. Yeah?
Based on your economics of living in New York, your earning capacity, so $1.20.
$1.20, okay.
So now we're in South Sudan.
Yes.
You know how much it would cost you to have that bowl?
The same bowl.
Same bowl.
With some parsley on it?
Oh, thank you.
Just went up.
That's just gone up, okay. Yeah. All right, the very same bowl.
$320. That's $320. This is what you would pay in New York based on your earning capacity. If you can get the food at all, this is what it costs for a person in South Sudan to get a simple, basic plate of food. $320, maybe $321 now with a parsley.
Because the parsley makes all the difference.
So you're not going to be taking anybody out to lunch anytime soon, are you?
Or ever. Or maybe you don't get to eat.
That's what we're facing every day.
If you're watching online, thank you for watching online. If you're following this online, you may not have heard the, what? I just wanted to recreate that for you because there was definitely shock in the room here at the Social Goods Summit about how much this might cost. So, with that index around the world, David, what does the World Food Programme do about that? What do we do about that?
Well, here's the sad part.
Yeah.
Today in the world, there's $300 trillion of wealth. There's more fluid wealth than any other time period in world history, and yet we've got starvation beyond our farthest imagination. It's unconscionable with all the technology, all of the wealth that we have, anyone starving. Our goal is to reach Sustainable Development Goal number 2, zero hunger by 2030. Is it possible? Yes.
But today, Sustainable Development Goal number 2, this is one that must be close to your heart, Arthur. It is.
Yes. Sorry, I'm completely confused what you're asking me.
It's about food, Sustainable Development Goal
yes.
number 2.
Yeah. Well, but look, you know, when the Sustainable Development Goals were published, right, Number 2 came out, and it's got
Yeah.
like 16 different
Obviously,
items
you're a
in
chef.
it.
I
Right?
mean, it's
And
like,
you kinda
it's
say,
gonna jump out at you.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
But then you think, okay, but how do you deliver that?
Right.
You know, words are great on paper, but actually, how do you get it into a bowl, and how do you get it in front of someone on the table and say, look, this is the difference that this plate of food will make if you look at it ethically, if you look at it sustainably, if you look at it equally across the planet. I mean, food is such a powerful tool for communication. And I've been working on the Chef's Manifesto for the Sustainable Development Goal 2, and we're trying to get that messaging out there as well. But look, 16 items in the SDG Goal 2, and you know, for me as a chef with the opportunity to come and stand on stage and tell you this message, it's all in this bowl of soup.
No person hungry by 2030. Hashtag 2030 now. If you would like to try this soup, sorry people online, it's not going to happen. But if you would like to try this soup and you're here, you can do that. Go to the media area. If you would like to take some veggies home, you can do that as well. We're going to make up some soup bags. This is the brochure for counting the beans. This will be out on October 16th.
Correct.
Which is very important. You have a sneak preview of that right now. And I'm just thinking, what else can I ask you to do? It's been a long day. Stand up. You can also do this online. This is an exercise I recommend all audiences do. Faster! All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Arthur Potts Dawson, David Beasley, Executive Director of the World Food Programme. My name is Femi Oke.
Great stuff, man.
One message for you. Oh, you're so generous. A standing ovation. Really? We don't deserve it. Hashtag 2030 now. Take care.